A new month means it is time to head back to the Nintendo Switch eShop, specifically looking at games and their performance on the Nintendo Switch 2. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Square Pegs. I'm Jay. Glad you're here. Today we are looking at 10 very different games on the Nintendo Switch 2. That's where all the gameplay footage is going to be captured from. So understand if you have a Switch 1, your gameplay performance may vary, but we're going to kick things off right now with an offering that is a physical release from Ubisoft, but it is a game key card. So I know a lot of people don't like that, but if you were curious about how this game performs on the Nintendo Switch, check it out.
Now, I had first played Star Wars Outlaws back on the Xbox Series X, and I was very impressed with it. I thought the concept of the game was excellent, but it's a game that I just didn't have the time for. It wasn't something I was able to dedicate the time that it deserved. So I hadn't gotten too far in it. I enjoyed my time with it, but it wasn't one that I could say, yeah, this game is worth trying. And when the Switch release came out, I was curious, and I watched a lot of videos on it before I picked it up, and everyone was saying how great it was and how amazingly it ran on the Switch, and it does. It truly does. Like, there's definitely some graphical downgrades at places, but I don't think it's any worse than what you would see on the Series S. It's a fun game. And the thing that really sold it for me was when someone mentioned in one of their videos, and I wish I remembered who it was, I didn't write it down, but they mentioned that there's actually cross-platform saves that you're able to use, and that's when it sold for me. Because if I was able to play this not only handheld on the Nintendo Switch 2, but also upload that file when I was done saving and then continue playing on my Series X, now all of a sudden it was manageable. It was something where I was able to take it with me and play, and if I wanted to just have that full visual feature, I could play it on my Series X as well. But I'm not going to lie to you, the look of the game on the Switch 2 doesn't suck. It runs really well. There's actually like ray tracing and stuff like that. I'm shocked by it. Now I have this physically, and I don't regret buying it physically because I don't hate game keycards. And Ubisoft actually made a point to say that this runs better on a game keycard than it would on just a standard cartridge. So I appreciate them doing that in that case. It's a $60 game. Your mileage may vary on whether this is something you want to play, but for me, I actually really enjoy it. I don't hate Ubisoft as developers. I don't like all of their business practices, but I do tend to like their games, and I like this one. It's really fun. This is Rusty Rangers, and Rusty Rangers to me feels like if Spelunky and Enter the Gungeon had a baby. I don't really know another way to describe it other than that, because it's both equal parts shooter, kind of like Enter the Gungeon is, and it's also an exploration game like Spelunky is, and there's the boss levels that you have to go through, just like Enter the Gungeon, and there's items you have to go to and shops you have to go to, just like it is in Spelunky. It feels like the two games just got squished together, and what you got is this incredible pixel art, fantastic game that is just so much fun to play. There's a wicked sense of humor under the surface on this game, where, while it's rated E, it's like a Pixar game being rated E or a Pixar movie being rated G. You know there's going to be some jokes in there for grown-ups, and there are in this game as well. The graphics look fantastic. The gameplay is wonderful. The entire package just works. And the fact that it is only a $15 title is absolutely astounding to me. You know, one of, I think, the unsung arcade heroes out there, and one that I always enjoy when I find it at a free play arcade, is Crazy Climber. I just think the concept is incredibly unique. And when I saw that there was a game kind of like that called Tip Top Don't Fall on the Switch eShop, I was really excited. This is a really clever game. So this is a very similar in style and scope to what Crazy Climber offered, where you control each arm individually and you have to ascend. It isn't quite as silly as Crazy Climber. You're climbing up hills and not just the side of a building or anything like that, but it's a really kind of interesting take and a really interesting game, because it's not only just like climbing and ascending and stuff like that and jumping and resting when you have to, it's a roguelike, because the levels are going to change every time you play. Whenever you start a new campaign, you're going to get a new seed and it's going to be completely different. I love it. It's a fantastic game. It's really intriguing. The graphics can be a little wonky at times. Like there's definitely some physics happening in this game, if you understand what I'm saying, but I love it. This game is normally $9.99, but through the 22nd of September here in the States, it's on sale for $4.99. You know, I've been told on more than one occasion when my hair was longer that I resembled old Kevin Smith, you know, back when he was chubby. And when my beard was less white, I looked a lot more like him. And I mean, I take that as a compliment. I've been a fan of Kevin Smith as long as I can remember, ever since I first saw Clerks. So I was really interested in Giant Silent Bob Mall Brawl when it released, because to me it looked like a River City Ransom game. And in writing the copy for this, I looked at the website, and yeah, it was inspired by River City Ransom and Double Dragon 2. And if you're going to be inspired by beat-em-ups on the NES, you could do a lot worse than two of the best. I love this game. If you're a fan of the View Askew universe, if you love Jay and Silent Bob, if you just like Kevin Smith, or if you're looking for a raunchy, offensive beat-em-up game, check out Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl. It is wonderful. It is a loving throwback to classic NES games. It plays so similarly to those games, and there's also some really clever stuff in the game as well. Like, there's fun little, like, side games as well as you're playing. Like, there's one with a shopping cart where all of a sudden you start flying through the level. There's you're able to switch on the fly between Jay and Bob depending on who you want to use and how low their health happens to be. You can hot swap out. It's really fun. It's a very cleverly made game, and it feels like it just belongs in the View Askew universe. Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl, really fun game, $14.99. I am fiercely protective of the game Broforce. I love the concept of it. I loved the execution of it. I thought it was one of the best multiplayer games and a really awesome run and gun shooter. And anytime I see something that kind of ekes in on that territory, I get a little defensive. My hackles get up a little bit. So when I first tried out Metal Suits, I was like, this is just a Broforce clone. And in a lot of ways, it can be. It feels a lot like Broforce in a lot of ways, but it's also incredibly clever the way it works, because you don't just pick a bro and then when you die you're given a new one. You actually find these different kind of like mech suits as you're playing through the game, and you get different abilities based on which ones you find. Now there's some physics in play here, kind of like what happens in Broforce when you have the Gatling gun. If you have the Gatling gun suit, you'll be pushed back a little bit as you fire it. There's a lot of different kind of upgrades and things like that you find as you go that will like recharge your battery to give you super moves. You're able to find hidden areas of the levels when you destroy them and find extra items and things like that. It's just a really awesome game. I love games that pay tribute but still do their own thing, and I think Metal Suits kind of sticks the landing on that one. The story's pretty funny too, so kind of like Broforce, there's a sense of humor involved here. Metal Suits Counterattack is $9.99. It's a really fun game. Check it out.
Hey, we're halfway through the list right now, 10 games we're talking about on the Switch eShop, but I wanted to let you know this weekend in Cleveland, Ohio at the IX Center is the Cleveland Gaming Classic. I am a guest now for the third time. I can't wait to go back. It's one of my favorite shows of the year. Can't wait to be there with all my friends, see Tom and his incredible crew, and just experience a fantastic show. A bunch of independent game developers there. They're going to be doing an Indie Game Awards on Sunday. All kinds of fun stuff going on. Please be sure to check it out if you're in the area. You can get tickets right now at GameCleveland.com. Link is in the description as well. And now, back to the list.
Featured on last week's Nintendo Direct, Stormlancers was a game that I immediately said, oh, that looks good. And I knew it was going to be a game for me when my wife messaged me at the same time. She said, yeah, this is one that you're going to want. And she's right. She's absolutely right. This is an anime version of Dead Cells. That's exactly what it feels like to me. You have a ton of different weapons that you're able to find. You have different characters that you're able to unlock, which gives you a different base look. You have different weapons that assign to different buttons, so you're able to use them in different ways. They all have different cooldowns and different kind of impacts as you fight. There's amazing co-op in the game, which I don't show here because I hardly ever play it, and I don't think to record it when I'm playing with a friend. I just really love it. And of course, if it's going to be a game for me, you know it's going to be a roguelike. It's something where no two runs are going to be the same. It's always going to be something a little bit different. Things are going to be changed up just a little bit, and I am just absolutely enjoying it. I think it is an incredibly well done title. I love the look. The intro is magnificent. Like, this is an intro you don't skip. It's rare to find that in a game, but this is one you don't skip because it's that good. $19.99. Stormlancers is excellent. Be sure to check this one out. If you're a fan of Dead Cells, you need to play this game. You know, it has been a good long minute since I have included a good JRPG on an eShop Hidden Gems, and it's usually because there's plenty of ones that have promise that are released, but it takes me a while to get into them. But one of the ones that released last year that I have not had any issue getting into is the Lunar Remastered Collection, because I loved the original two Lunars on the Sega CD. I had them both on the PlayStation, and this is just an amazing collection that I never thought would see the light of day. I never thought we would see these games re-released and remastered for a modern audience, because it just didn't seem like the interest was there from the general public. But here we are, and Gung Ho America released it, and it's wonderful. These games are some of the best JRPGs with some of the best writing out there, and just an incredible example of what classic JRPG systems and gameplay could be. It doesn't take itself too seriously. There's definitely some lighter moments. There's some heavy moments as well, don't get me wrong. But if you're looking for just a classic JRPG experience, the Lunar Remastered Collection featuring both Lunar, Silver Star Story, and Lunar 2 Eternal Blue is well worth every single penny. There is a physical version of this. I don't know how available it is anymore. I was lucky and got it on launch day. But if you are not able to score it physically, because I'm sure the price on that is going to go through the roof, digitally, it's $49.99. I learned about this game through Metal Jesus on one of his videos a couple of months ago, and this is Agent Intercept, and I am 100% a huge fan of espionage-based games. Spy games, I love them. They're some of my favorites. I really want to do a spy game-focused video, but it's one of those games where it doesn't scream spy until you get into it, because at first glance, it just kind of looks like a driving game, right? But once you actually get into game, you realize that this car transforms depending on where you're at. Like if you jump into the water, it turns into a boat. You have incredible boosting ability. You have weapons that you're able to fire. You have rockets. And there's a really kind of fun story like underlying the entire game as well. And one of the things I really like about it is that while it is a driving game, it's not a driving game where you have to drive, because the game just auto drives. So it's always going to be moving north-south. You're always going to be going, as much pedal to the metal as you possibly can. And it's up to you at that point to determine how you're going to get through the level. Are you going to try to achieve the different side missions that are given for each level? Are you going to just, boost as much as possible to get as far into the level as fast as you possibly can? It's really up to you how you want to go. It's a really, really clever game. Very much enjoying it. It's a $19.99 game. The voice acting in the game is really good. The characterization is really good. I'm just really enjoying it. I think it's a fun title. And hey, if you're looking for a neat kind of off-the-cuff spy game, you can do a lot worse than Agent Intercept. Lynked Banner of the Spark Nintendo Switch 2 Edition was one that was also featured on the recent Nintendo Direct. And I just liked the look of it. Like that was the entire thing that sold me on it, because I just thought it looked cute. It looked really cute, and I was in for a cute game. And it is so different than what I expected. It really is. This is a roguelike action RPG that plays a lot like Hades in a lot of ways. You have different weapons and upgrades that you're going to find as you play. You're going to use different robots to kind of build you up. But then as you go through, it turns into a town builder, which is great. It's so different than anything I've ever played, including the fact that you're able to customize your hero. Like, you're not just locked into a particular appearance. Like, I've got my chubby hero that has the beard I wish I still had. It's a really awesome game. And the thing I really like about this as well, one of the things I really admire about this game, is that there's both a Nintendo Switch and a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the title. And if you buy the Nintendo Switch edition for the original Switch, and eventually you get a Switch 2, the upgrade pack is free. So you upgrade to the Switch 2 version with no extra cost to you, which I love. I absolutely think that is fantastic. Worth checking out. I'm a huge fan of Hades. It was my game of the year a few years ago. Pretty sure Hades 2 is going to be my game of the year this year. But in the meantime, Lynked Banner of the Spark, aces. Absolutely fantastic game. $24.99. Can't go wrong. Our game of the month this month is Shantae Advance Risky Revolution Deluxe Edition from WayForward. And when I say I've been waiting a long time for this game, I have. This game was originally announced or believed to have been conceived 20 years ago. And I go, well, believed. It was conceived 20 years ago, but it was canceled. It was lost. And it was never supposed to see the light of day. But here we are some 20 years later, and we have the lost piece of Shantae media. And I am ecstatic because, first off, this is one of my favorite looks. I love the GBA look for Shantae. I thought the look of Pirate's Curse was incredible. I think that is carried over here from the GBA edition, and I just think it's magnificent. And there's a lot of really cool stuff in this one. You have all your traditional Shantae nonsense happening, right? Like, there's a bunch of goofball stuff, ton of fan service, lots of just, like, crazy costumes that you're able to switch into, specifically with the Deluxe Edition. You get the Sizzle Armor, the Relic Hunter costume, and the High Voltage costume, as well as the standard Shantae outfit. And then there's stuff like a 4-player versus mode, which is for the first time we've ever seen that in a Shantae game. So I'm really ecstatic that this one exists. I'm showing you stuff from literally the first level because I do not want to spoil the story for this one if you are a Shantae fan, because if you're like me, you've been waiting a long time for it, and I don't want to spoil that for you. Just rest assured, Risky's back, and she's being risky. The digital deluxe release with the extra costumes is $34.99, and while there is a physical release coming from Limited Run Games, it is sold out currently on their website. So unless you're going to see them at a convention or plan on going to the physical store in North Carolina, you're going to have to find a way to either pay through the nose on the secondary market or just accept the fact that you have to get a digital copy of this game. Either way, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. It's a fantastic title.
So yeah, Game of the Month this month is Shantae Risky Revolution, and I'm just stoked that it exists. I never thought this game would be seeing the light of day. Thought this was lost to time and we would never have it returned to us, and here it is, way forward, doing amazing work once again. Let me know in the comments down below your favorite game I featured this month. Let me know if there's any in the future you'd like to see me feature. I know there's been a few suggestions that'll be showing up in future videos. Trust me, there's a ton of amazing options out there on the eShop, but I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what your favorite eShop games are or your favorite physical releases. We'll feature them on here as well. If you enjoyed this video, give it a quick thumbs up. The engagement helps the channel out a ton, and if you really liked it, consider subscribing. Love to have you stick around for the long haul. Check out the playlist on screen right now if you want to see more eShop suggestions, and until next time, remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.